The 2023 Jackson Juneteenth celebration from Jackson College, Chief Equity Officer Kelly Crum, and also from Jackson College, member of the Board of Trustees, and Jackson County Undersheriff, Chris Simpson. Good afternoon. Did I get your title right? Chief Diversity Officer and Director of Diversity, Equity, and Belonging.
Yeah.
Yes, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Awesome.
You did good.
Right.
You did good.
Well, there's a lot to it.
I know.
And there's
It is.
You do a lot. Yeah.
Well, I do a lot of things, right? So
Yeah.
I had a long title.
It was great seeing you at Spring Arbor University's Evening at the Arbor.
Oh, thank
Kelly
you.
gave the benediction at the conclusion of the evening. It was very
I
nice.
did.
Yeah.
It was a wonderful evening, you know, a graduate of Spring Arbor University. And on
You
the
know, they
alumni.
gave I could not believe this, and they gave the year you graduated from Spring Arbor.
No.
And it was last century.
Oh, I think, Chris, did you graduate from SAU
Yes,
Yeah,
I
you
got my
too.
bachelor's and my master's at SAU.
Yeah.
too? Yeah, they put my year
Cougar
up there.
alum, no doubt.
Yeah, I thought that was a typo.
I know. Thank you. I appreciate you. How much do I owe you for that comment?
All right, so Juneteenth, getting ready for a full-blown celebration.
Absolutely. Once we're here again. I actually looked up to find out what year we started, and I'm going to ask you. What year do you think Jackson College hosted Juneteenth behind Consumers Energy
I remember.
Amphitheater?
I was there.
Yes.
I would
year?
say 2004. Is
Look
that
at
it?
He's right.
Yes, it is.
Really?
And I remember that year because I had just came back from Iraq, and they invited me to be the marshal of something.
Really?
Yes, so I knew it was 2004.
It was 2004, 19 years ago.
We had Richard Lawson
Richard Lawson,
Richard
yes.
was the one who
Yeah.
invited me.
Yes.
and who else?
Cam Hurst was
Cam Hurst,
was
yeah.
the director of multicultural affairs at that time, and as I looked back, Betty Joplin was the featured
Oh, yeah.
person.
Oh, I know one year they
Yes.
had Howard Hewitt. I can't remember if that was the same year.
That was years
year after.
a couple years after, but 19 years, and we're still hosting Juneteenth with our community partners.
One of the things that, when you think back to 2004, it was the first Juneteenth that anyone celebrated in Jackson. Nobody had an event.
Correct.
So a lot of us, we had never heard of Juneteenth.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know, that's a very interesting thing you say, because I didn't learn of Juneteenth until I was actually out in California, and they were talking of a celebration of Juneteenth in San Jose, and you know, there my education started with Juneteenth because I didn't know. Shame on me and shame on our education system, in my opinion, but
We
it's
weren't
something
taught-
we should have known.
Nobody taught us.
Yeah.
Nobody taught us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So-
but this community knows Juneteenth.
Oh, they do now. No
Yeah.
doubt.
This community. And when I think about Juneteenth, I have to pause and reflect of what Juneteenth really means,
Right.
right? When you think of January 1st, 1863, during the Civil War, Abraham Lincoln issues the Emancipation Proclamation. And it took 2 years after June of 1865
Amazing.
for the enslaved to know that they were free. 2 years later.
Yeah.
And so you think about the joy and the cries and just the celebrations to know that they are a free people. We are a free people, right? And so when we think
Right.
about Juneteenth, it just makes me like almost tear up to think about what a group of people, because of the color of their skin, had to go through. And so as we celebrate Juneteenth, we want to celebrate and acknowledge a history of our people with our community, with fun, celebration, music, of course, food. But it's a time to come together and acknowledge
Well said.
what has happened.
So Juneteenth, it's one day, but we make it into a 3-day. Is it 3 days?
It is 3 days, and you know, a lot of communities, a lot of states, they do the same thing. They have 3 days of festivals, of parades, and we have expanded it in the last couple years, and it's been, I think the community has embraced that, right? Under Sheriff Trustee Simpson can talk about kind of what is happening on that Thursday and that Friday, and I can tell you about the big thing that's happening on Saturday.
All right, let's do it. Starts on Thursday, June 15th with a special program.
Yes, it's actually the law enforcement community panel. And it is a time for the community and law enforcement to sit and talk about relevant issues that is in our community when it comes to policing and community relations. We've done this in the past. We've had some great conversations of what the community expects and some great conversations on why law enforcement police the way we do. And in between that, we find our gaps. And we work on our gaps from a law enforcement perspective. And I think that helps build the bridge to our community as far as law enforcement and community relationships.
Yeah, there's something every day in the news. There's something. Yesterday, a security guard shot someone in Walgreens in San Francisco. Something happens every day.
Yes.
Yes.
And that's hard to put your arms around, because now what it is, if because of the social media outlets and the media outlets, anything that happens anywhere is at your fingertips now. So if something happens out in San Francisco, we hear about it, or we're questioned on the tactics they use, even though we don't deploy them here, but we still owe the community an answer for how we police and why we police.
Yeah, and I think you've made people having this forum, because it's been, I think, 3 years.
Yes.
You've had, at least the community knows, and you've made some pretty strong efforts to educate the community on how you do policing, how we do policing in this community.
Yes, and with the community leadership, the law enforcement leadership there, with all the big brain power in that room, the conversation is usually good. And we also include the vast community. When they come out, they may have questions or concerns or even statements that they're allowed time to, vent those frustrations or even vent the victories. So
that's Thursday, and then Friday we've got a program, a play.
Yep. So Friday will be Lisa Williams will come back again. She did it last year, had a play at the Michigan Theater. So shout out to Steve Tucker and his partnership with Juneteenth, Sign of the Times. And so that is free. So, we encourage people to come down and see that. And she's been working very hard. It'll be a great event. And then we look towards our big day, which is Saturday, right? So that is from 2 to 8 p.m. down in Blackman Park. We will have, of course, our wonderful entertainment, which consists of our guest, I should say, Tim Bowman. We had him here a couple years ago. He's a jazz artist, if you recall.
I remember.
Tim Bowman. We'll have Chantel and Terrence Hawkins. They will come back. We'll have that gospel. And then we have another group we're going to bring this year, a new group that hasn't performed at Juneteenth, and they're called the Corzo Effect, which has some ties to Jackson. And then we'll have our DJ, which is Scott White, there as well. So that'll be our entertainment. Of course, we have lots of vendors. Like every day I'm getting an email about people wanting to vendor. So right now we have over 80 vendors.
What, 80?
80 vendors
It's gotta be
that
more than
have
you-
signed up for Juneteenth. So we have Michigan Avenue and South Jackson, of course, blocked off with our police.
And these vendors go from, from obviously food vendors to crafts. I mean, it's just so dynamic with the amount of diversity you have down there and things to look at, art. So it's a fantastic vendor support that we have there.
We'll also have Michigan
Kids
Works,
Zone.
who helps sponsor with us. They will have their job fair so people can come up and get jobs. We have
Yes.
many jobs available in Jackson. Employers are looking for workers. So we'll have a job fair. We have our Kids Zone, which actually this year, it is the L. Glick Kids Zone.
Oh, that's new.
Yes, the Glick family sponsored. They have sponsored in the past, gave a nice donation to help our kids enjoy Juneteenth and be a part of that. And just our executive team we've been working 9 months to put this together, which consists of course, Jackson College, Baker College, Spring Arbor University, the City of Jackson, the Sheriff Department, and ASP Logistics. So we want to bring, Juneteenth to the highest level for our community. So it's for all. Everybody just come out, enjoy one another. JTV is always a sponsor there to help us promote our event. And we appreciate you, Bart, for all that you
thank you.
do.
Certainly.
Thanks, Kelly. Thanks, Chris. Food is a big part of this, and we were talking about the very first one, 2004. It was Larry Pryor,
Ray Pryor.
and
Yes.
just Larry Pryor, and people
Yes.
wanted we wanted more.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And
That's a
we're-
good contrast because you're right. It was just that booth, and I want to say somebody else had a booth. I can't remember if it was the NAACP or AARP, but it was just,
That's
just
right. There was another little
a
pop-up
small
tent.
pop-up
Yeah.
tent, and that was it. To now we have 80 to 100 vendors coming in that small area.
Look where we have grown.
So,
And it's like all day and into the evening too.
Yep, it'll be 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. vendors. If they still want to register, they can just contact us. I'm sure, we still have a month out, right? So I'm sure we'll get more vendors. Actually, I just looked at the list and I saw that one of the vendors are going to do catfish.
Oh,
So we're going to have a variety of things going on there. So make sure you come. Bring a little change because you need a little money to support the vendors, please. While they're here, they're trying to make their living too.
indeed.
And bring your smiles. Bring your lawn chairs, right? Or blankets. We will have tables that are provided by the City of Jackson. But make sure you bring your stuff to sit on and enjoy. Bring your smiles. Look at those great pictures out there.
yeah. Anthony Parker actually had a booth with one of his brothers.
Yeah, Fred,
Yeah, with food. They
Yes.
were-
it was so good.
yeah.
It was so good. So,
We'll
yeah.
definitely be looking forward to that, and it'll be here before you know it.
Yes, indeed.
We're still looking for sponsors, so if those community members who would like to sponsor the Juneteenth event, please contact me.
All right. Well, thanks for announcing all the plans for this year's celebration.
Well, thank you for having us.
Certainly appreciate it, Bert.
Good to see you both. Thanks, guys.
Always.
Board of Trustee at Jackson College and Jackson County Undersheriff Chris Simpson, and Chief Equity Officer and Director of Diversity, Equity, and Belonging at Jackson College, Kelly Crum. Next on the show, we've